Hey, it's your buddy Peace and Harmony with you here today. We are focusing in today on you. We are focusing in on ways for you to restore your sense of reality, commitment, and confidence when deciding or in the process of going no contact with a narcissist or psychopathic abuser. Oftentimes, there's a lot of denial that comes with trying to let go of this individual because of the feel-good feelings, because of the emotional manipulation, because of the illusion, because this person is so different in how they've isolated you and your perspective. It becomes very difficult to let that go. The aura that they tend to emanate from them, which is so controlling, which other people oftentimes they don't see really the injurious, they don't see the manipulator underneath. They don't see the insults. They don't see the criticism. They don't see the real private self. They just see the charming, charismatic person. They don't know the depths to which they have hurt and defiled others. So it can be very confusing whether to stand your ground, hold your ground, really own your reality, own your perception, own your truth, or kind of fall back on the wagon and go with what you were wanting to believe or what they're trying to hoover you back into believe. The facade. Falling back into, really getting back into the old rut, what I'm going to call the old blueprint. It takes a lot of power and conviction and really self-trust to be able to rewrite a new blueprint and emerge from the denial that comes from breaking apart from a narcissistic or psychopathic abusive relationship. Because they had manipulated, they had almost become part of your emotional being for so long, they had almost become like one of the have you ever seen the inner workings of a clock and how they have the gears kind of going like this, and then one turns the other, turns the other, turns the other, so you've got, a series of gears. They had almost become like a gear in your life, keeping you moving forward, and oftentimes there is a vision of them always being there. And so you have this future reality, or really what you've been working towards is to really work harder to keep them in your life. So oftentimes a lot of your motivation is based on those gears. If they do this, I'm going to do this. If they do this, I'm going to do this. And it becomes this kind of cycle. Now, healthy relationships can work in the same way when they are balanced and they're not based on pure manipulation for one person's advantage and to the disadvantage of another. The whole problem with the narcissist is that they have a pathological sense of self-importance and then coupled with a lack of empathy. So they really do not have really a lot of caring for what another person is going through. So if they can hurt verbally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, psychologically, they just don't care. And furthermore, they don't feel that they have done anything wrong. Oftentimes the supply is considered a lesser than person, and that, you are there to serve me. You are here to feed my ego. So you get a lot of ego feeding in these relationships, ego stroking. You are such a good that, you are such a good that, you're constantly having to do that. But, meanwhile, you're on this lower rung in the relationship and you're kind of there as a nurturing and supporter. A lot of people have this built into their personality where they tend to be very nurturing, supportive versus being a real director. So if that has been kind of your, inner kind of who you are, realize that you could be throwing your pearls at swine, so to speak, when you're with a manipulator, because they will suck it all up. I mean, they will just take you for a ride, and really until you're exasperated, done with, like a squeezed toothpaste. You're all squeezed out, and then you're just empty. You're just done. You've exposed them, or emotionally, you're just exhausted from playing their support games that you feel like you've just become this empty shell of a person. So we need to get you back to feeling rehumanized, resensitized, coming back to your senses, coming back to that healthy sense of touch, that healthy vision for your life, having positive visions and statements around to kind of keep you reignited, positive sense, which fill your being and your emotions with positive memories, new memories, pleasant scents from food, candles, flowers, aromatherapy, essential oils, the aromatic foods, which are very uplifting and stimulate your senses. And also, the pleasant sounds, which are very comforting, which can come from music, which can come from uplifting statements, which can come from things like your church or something that you find spiritually cleansing and uplifting. To each is very unique. And also the physical kinesthetic moves, which is kind of getting back into your body, reigniting your musculature. Rather than, you find that, people, once they're broken down, beaten down, they tend to really hunch over. They get the rounded shoulders, they can't really sit up straight. So it's like coming back into your body again. And each and every day I'm feeling better and better. And making that confirmation, making that affirmation, and walking with your head held high, because the body posture sends messages to the brain and the emotional centers that regulate emotion. So it's like a feedback loop. So when you combine your affirmations and your senses and your physical body, each and every day I'm feeling better and better, and stating this and then holding your body up, you're reprogramming, you're reconditioning your body to give you, your physical body kinesthetically is giving positive messages to your brain, which is in turn feeding the emotions, and it becomes a very functional connection. So you need to do this again and again and again, and really it'll become what we call reprogrammed, reconditioned, and it will help to really deflect a lot of the negative messages and the negative feelings and the physical lambasting and the negative emotional dysregulation of this instability from this person, and help bring it back to your body. It will help you regain control. And you need to come from this state of control when you go no contact. When you have exposed the narcissist, when you have exposed the psychopath, and you know that you know that you know, it can be shocking. You want to go back to sleep. It's like the covers are too warm. The life was too good. It takes a little bit of work. It takes a little bit of motivation to claim and then work the path of recovery. So you really do need in the beginning to have that conscious emphasis to working forward, but then it's going to become automatic, because once you get yourself going, kind of like on the bike, once you've ridden your bike for the first time, it's a little bit wobbly and you kind of have to consciously balance. Once you do it again and again, it'll become automatic and it'll become unconscious. It'll just become part of you. And you'll learn to identify these people and being able to react right away. No, that's not going to fly here. No. Do you still want to get together? Ignore. Do you still want to do this? No. I mean, it becomes very, very clear. You have to get 100% clear and 100% in conviction and commitment to your decision moving forward, and you have to know that you can back yourself up. If you feel like you can't back yourself up, you're only in it for half-assed, as they say. You have to know that you can back yourself up. And I can rely on myself. I have other people. I'm learning the tools here and I'm putting these into play. And that is all that matters. That is all that matters. So when it comes to going and staying no contact, you need to have that sort of conviction. And you need to know in your heart and in your mind as well that it's the right thing to do. And no longer believing the lies. There's no power in the lies. The lies are powerless. What's only important is for you to keep that inner faith, that inner resolve, that inner conviction, and not ride the roller coaster, because the roller coaster will make you sick. It'll make you distort your reality, and it'll make you weak in the end. And what you thought was going to be a joyride becomes a nightmare. And so you can continue to ride it, but it's at your own risk. And the lessons are only going to get more and more severe and more profound. And to realize also that the manipulation oftentimes is a way to block you. It's to get you stuck. It's to get you feeling helpless. What they call in psychology learned helplessness. You've learned from this person to be helpless in such and such a manner. They haven't let you live your life. They haven't let you work through your feelings. They've given you erroneous messages, so you will just be down. What a great goal of the manipulator, correct? Not such a great goal. I mean, that just seems so counterintuitive and so counterproductive to me. Why would somebody waste their time doing that? it's because they have a personality or character disorder. They take pleasure in having power over others. They take a great deal of pride in trying to manipulate and control. That is what they operate by. That is the type of person that they are. And furthermore, they create victims in their path. And so you can hear from others who have been there. Basically, it's like in the wake of their life. They have a number of different people who have been devalued and discarded, just kind of like thrown off the narc train. I mean, it's just like tumbling. Leave people basically tumbling, off into the dirt and wounded and injured. And some people find it very difficult to ever get up. So you've got to get up. This person is not more important than you. This person does not have power over your life. You need to get back into that conviction and remember that it's also very important when you go through your affirmations to have a sense of gratitude for your place in healing. I have so much gratitude right now for being able to be in my center. I am so glad to be able to see the ways of manipulation and to no longer be a victim. I'm so grateful to no longer be a victim, and I'm no longer self-conscious of myself in that way. I'm so glad to have my own values and be able to act on my own values once again. I am so glad that I'm no longer living in reaction to these people. I'm so glad to be living in my personal power and taking action in my life versus inaction. So we're going to be working on this through a number of different videos today. And please stay tuned for more great videos and discussions and support.